Hello, Capricorn, Capricorn Rising, and Capricorn Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for November 2017. Just a quick reminder for all y'all out there, remember, these horoscopes talk about the longer term energies going on in the background of the month. I do not put any information when it comes to monthly horoscopes on any kind of aspect that lasts for less than 2 weeks, okay? So if you're interested in something that goes on for less than 2 weeks, looking for more of a flavor of the week, flavor, of the day kind of energy, check out your weekly horoscopes. The first half of them is always exclusively astrology, so there's something in it for everybody. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with this month for you? Well, all month we've got Mars, planet of action, energy, conviction, and passion, and sometimes war, going through, well actually a lot of the times war, moving through your 10th house of career all month. And this can actually be a wonderful time for a lot of the Capricorn people when it comes to work and career, because whenever you have Mars in one of your primary earning sectors, one of your primary work and finance sectors, such as House 10 or House 2 or something like that, we tend to see opportunities for overtime, late nights, extra hours, extra days, and again, piling on some extra cash with extra projects and assignments. Just be careful with Mars in the 10th, it can also lead us to be taking on too much at once, and there can be a tendency to fall a little bit behind if our eyes are bigger than our stomachs. However, with Mars in the 10th house, this can also be a wonderful time for those of you trying to promote yourselves, trying to elevate yourselves. If you've been trying to maybe get into bigger circles at the office, if you've been trying to maybe compete with a rival, somebody in a similar situation at work, similar position, trying to gun for something higher than yourself, this is a wonderful time to do it. Just be careful about how you switch lanes when you do. Sometimes with Mars, we just don't know when to stay in our own lane, and, it can create some conflict. But overall, Capricorn people can be a little bit, more conservative and a little bit more strategic, so I'm not so worried about you, going out and trolling, but at the same time, just keep that in mind, because some people might take it that way, so you've got to be extra judicious. On the 4th of the month, we do have a full moon in Taurus, in your 5th house of love and romance, your relationships with your children, and pleasure. And this full moon could bring about an interesting turn of events, because it does tend to raise the roof emotionally, especially around the 4th, but that energy could linger all the way up until the 18th. And this can bring a very, very strong romantic opportunity to you and a crush, or somebody that you have been seeing, but it is a test of how well everybody handles high emotions. Usually the full moon can bring us a bit of a make or break kind of energy. Will this relationship make it? Will it not? Will this relationship start? Will it end before it begins? And this could actually be good for a lot of people who just feel like they don't know. For those of you who are currently coupled, definitely still carrying a lot of that high intensity, but usually the 5th house talks more about the dating situation, less about the serious relationships. That's more House 7. However, for those of you who are coupled with full moon in the 5th, there may be something that does come to an abrupt stop or end when it comes to a routine that you and a partner have. We may be actually growing out of what used to be fun, what used to be pleasurable. It doesn't mean that we're not going to replace it, though. It's not going to leave a void. Usually, and this applies to single and coupled Tauruses alike, whatever we decide to let go of, we have almost immediate replacement. And so that might be something to also think about. On the 5th of the month, we do have Mercury, planet of communications, haste and acceleration, and all that good stuff, moving into your 12th house, Sagittarius. Okay, the 12th house, your past, your privacy, the hidden zone, what you keep behind the scenes. And with Mercury in the 12th house, it does look like this is going to be a month where you're having a lot of people confide in you. And you may even find yourself confiding in and making friends in unexpected areas, whether these could be people that we didn't think we liked. I've seen people turn rivals and enemies into friends with Mercury in the 12th house, but we don't, sometimes it's not public, but with the Mercury in the 12th house, this can also indicate an opening up of communications where communications have been closed. Again, people will be confiding a lot more information in you this month, but be careful with Mercury in the 12th house, especially after it goes retrograde in December. That information is for you to keep, and you to keep it to yourself. Wait till Mercury leaves permanently, well, not permanently, but you know what I'm saying, when it leaves for good later on in December, and then you'll know if this was ever something that was meant to go public. You'll be confiding as well, so it's about trust. On the 7th of the month, we've got Venus, planet of harmony and love and attraction, moving into your 11th house of friendships and social networking, Scorpio, where she will be for the duration of the month. And this can bring a lot of peace and a lot of harmony to relationships that have been going through a bit of tension. If we've been needing to have a bit more sweetness, a bit more recreation, a bit more frivolity, just to boost the morale in our friendship circle, in our clique, in our group. This is the kind of thing you want to see because it is bringing close people closer. Not as close as Mars will, but definitely making things at least tighter and stronger. With Venus here as well, this may be, again, something for a lot of you who are single and looking for new love. Love may come through a friend this month. If somebody offers to set you up when Venus is in your 11th house, it may be something to consider. On the 18th of the month, we've got a new moon in the 11th house of friendships and social networking. So there will be a new character in your life story, so to speak. There will be a new friend, possibly even a whole new group, if you would have it. This new moon is going to be, building up a lot of strength here between the 18th and the end of the month. And so you may be finding yourself circulating or matriculating in different groups as well. Again, with Mercury in the 12th house in the beginning, on the surface, you might not think you could actually have a rapport with these people. I'm actually seeing you possibly even correcting your opinions about somebody's image. We live in a world where optics is so important, but be careful about that. You may be actually finding an ally in an unexpected space. A new moon in the 11th house can indicate moving into a brand new social circle that could be performing a fair amount of good services for you just by being there as well. On the 21st of the month, we do have the Sun moving into your 12th house of your past, your privacy, your hidden zone, and we're talking about healing the past in a lot of ways. The Sun going into the 12th, remember the Sun does bring vitality, it is a healing energy. It's also about increasing the yield of your labors and the efforts and energies that you put into wherever it goes. And if you've been dealing with any kind of issues regarding your past, issues with a lack of closure, maybe ongoing issues going back years, usually with the 12th house, we're looking at things that are over 5 years old. The Sun is going to be shining a spotlight of stuff that is ready to actually be cleared, fixed, or maybe even some opportunities for reparations for all involved. The Sun here can also bring a big focus onto you getting ready to debut something that you can actually, get ready to bring out into the spotlight. It may even be saying that it's a time to do it early. If you have been working on perhaps a novel or some kind of website or some kind of project, the Sun is going to be making things a lot more efficient, especially with Mercury in there as well. You may have been thinking, I'll debut it next year. Maybe we don't have to wait so long. Because the Sun's going to be there all the way up until the 3rd week of December anyway. Finally, we've got Neptune, turning direct in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, and promises on the 22nd. And Neptune's going to be direct here all the way up until about June of next year. And Neptune's been retrograde here for almost 6 months. And with Neptune retrograde, as with Neptune direct, as with all outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto especially, there's good and there's bad always. Both sides, direct and retrograde, are going to have their goods and their bads. And anyone who tries to simplify it down to good, bad, whatever, they're cherry picking. There's a lot to go through. So I don't encourage that. Neptune retrograde in the 3rd of the last few months has allowed for you to gather a lot of secrets, to see things with, sort of that X-ray vision, and you're really able, you've really been able to see among your peers, among your colleagues, among your community, exactly the truth about certain people's characters, who they are, what their motivations are, and it's been giving you a very, very strong advantage. However, sometimes with Neptune retrograde, the negative side of Neptune retrograde is that it can also turn us into blabbermouths or surround us with blabbermouths, and sometimes both. And so you may have also been dealing with some trouble with accidentally letting things out that maybe weren't okay for you to say, or having things that you've confided in people coming out that are not okay for them to say in a public setting. With Neptune turning direct, we definitely have more, more discreet conversations being safe, which is always a good thing if you need things to be kept safe, and discreet in that sense. Neptune retrograde has a lot, again, it's good and it's bad at the same time. Well, Neptune direct, we've got the discretion and the privacy coming back, but also at the same time, just be prepared. You can also be dealing with a lot of people who misrepresent themselves. Typically with Neptune direct in the 3rd house, you get people who put on a show. You get people who try to embody a certain type of identity for the sake of whatever their goal is. They have a personality for every role in their life, or every person in their life. So be mindful of that and know when somebody is putting on a character. Personally, I think that you might be happier with having things not go so public so readily, though, so this could still be considered something, more convenient. So that is your horoscope, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.